This is just an effort to try and bring the voice behind the memo, so that in your own time, if there is a part of the question that is difficult and which the memo does not speak what you understand, then the voice behind the memo may be able to assist you. We are going to look at November 2018 question 5, in which you are given f of x, which is 4 over x minus 3 plus 2, and g of x, which is equal to x plus 2. So here we can notice that we have a parabola and a linear function. Now 5.1, you are asked to write down the equations of the asymptotes of f. So the equations of the asymptotes of f, we have two equations. The vertical asymptote, we can see that if x becomes 3 here, this denominator becomes 0. That means the whole function becomes undefined. So we have a vertical asymptote where x is equal to 3. And then we also have a horizontal asymptote where y is equal to 2, because if y or f of x assumes the same value, when you take this side, it gives you 0, so you won't be able to solve for x, since on one side there will be 0. Alright, then 5.2. 5.2, you are asked to determine the x-intercept of f. So x-intercept, we get it when y is equal to 0. That is, we come here, our f of x is our y. So we are saying 0 is equal to 4 over x minus 3 plus 2. So if you are working solving equations, then you can't run away from this equation. That means you just have to get used to solve equations with fractions too. So here we transpose positive 2, it becomes negative 2 is equal to 4 over x minus 3. Then we multiply throughout to get rid of the denominator, that is negative 2 into x minus 3 is equal to 4. Removing brackets, just be careful that you remove correctly. Negative 2 by x is negative 2x. Negative 2 by negative 3 is positive 6, which is equal to 4. We can just dodge the negative on x by taking negative 2 to this side and bringing 4 to the left side. That will be 6 minus 4. So 2 is equal to 2x. Therefore, we divide both sides by 2. Our x is equal to 1. Meaning that the graph will cut the x-axis at point 0, 0, 1. 5.3. Determine the y-intercept. The y-intercept comes when x is equal to 0. So we are saying our y, which is f of x, is equal to 4 over, where there is x we put 0, that is 0 minus 3 plus 2. That is 4 over negative 3 plus 2. You can use your calculator to simplify, or you can use the method of addition of fractions. So we'll get negative 4 plus 6, which will give us 2 over 3. So basically we are saying the graph is going to cut the y-axis at point 0, 2 over 3. 5.4. You are required to sketch the graph of f and g on the same system of axes and show clearly all the intercepts with the axis and any asymptotes. So we are going to sketch Let's not forget the asymptotes. So this is our x-axis, our y-axis. Let's show the asymptotes. We have said we have asymptotes at x equal to 3 and y equal to 2. Three is here. We can label the asymptotes, and then we have identified the x-intercept, and we say it's 0, it's 1, 0, and 1 is here. So the graph is going to cut. And then the y-intercept, we say it's 2 over 3. There is 1. 2 over 3, it's 0, 0.6 or 0.7, which we can put approximately there. And let's remember to label that mark so that even the examiner will be able to see. Also, by looking at A is greater than 0. This tells us that the graph is going to be in the first and the third quadrants. So here we have 2 points. It's enough to sketch the graph. That means our graph is going to move and then we now need the curve in the first quadrant there of the asymptotes. So to do that, we just find convenient points, because this side there is no way the graph is going to cut the axis. So we choose convenient points which are after 3. So we can choose 4. If we choose 4, when x is 4, that will be 4 minus 1, so it's 4 over 1 plus 2, that gives us 6. We can as well choose 5 is convenient. 5 minus 3, that's 2. 4 divided by 2, that's 2. 2 plus 2, 4. And 2 points, they are enough for us to sketch this graph. So we need 0.46. Which is there. And 0.54. So these are the 2 points that we need. So our graph is going to pass through these 2 points as it moves towards the asymptotes. So that is f of x. And then let's look at g of x. G of x is a straight line. So we just need to know where it cuts the x-axis and where it cuts the y-axis. So g of x is equal to x plus 2. Already we can tell the y-intercept, that is at 2. So it is going to cut the y-axis at 2. So that will be 0, 2. And then the x-intercept, it is when y is 0, that is 0 is equal to x plus 2, which will give us a value of negative 2. So it is going to cut the x-axis at point negative 2. Then we now join these 2 points. So this is our G, that's our F. By coincidence, we can also see that this point, which we have already calculated, 0.46, is a common point. So if you are asked to solve these two, you already have a point. So when you solve, at least you have something to bank on or to gauge on your answer. All right, that's a drawing. Then 5.5, calculate the x coordinates of the points of intersection of F and G. Now the points of intersection, these are the points where the 2 graphs cross each other. Now, where they cross, the graphs are the same or they are equal. The x coordinate is the same, the y coordinate is the same. So basically, we are saying f of x will be equal to g of x. And the question is saying calculate, which means that you have to solve the equation that is created by equating the 2 functions. So we are saying 4 over x minus 3 plus 2 is equal to x plus 2. Now, just some simple operations to make things a bit easy. We have to transpose the 2 to this side. So we'll have 4 over x minus 3 is equal to x, because these 2 becomes negative and positive 2 minus 2 is 0. Then we multiply throughout by the common denominator, which is x minus 3. So we have 4 is equal to x into x minus 3. So we are moving towards an equation that is 4 is equal to x squared minus 3x. And the equation, which is a quadratic, taking the 4 to the right side. So we are having x squared minus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0, which we should be able to solve by factorization. That is x minus 4 into x plus 1 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 4 or x is equal to negative 1. So, and that concurs with this point, that x is 4 and then negative 1. That means this is where we have negative 1 on this point, which is on the negative side, and then on this point is the 4. Now, we are not going to calculate the y values because the question requires us to calculate the x coordinates only. Now, let's move on to 5.6. 5.6, the question says if x is less than 3, if x is less than 3, what does that mean? If x is less than 3, the examiner is simply guiding us that we should look on the side where x is less than 3, which is on the left of the asymptote. So we ignore everything that is on the right for this question. Now, determine the values of x for which 4 over x minus 3 plus 2 is less than x plus 2. Now, this question requires you to answer it by observing your graphs, not by solving the inequality. You spend so much time there to get those 2 marks if you try to solve an inequality. So you can see that this is f of x less than g of x. So basically we are looking on the part of the graph where f of x is below g of x. That's what it means less. F of x is below, that means g of x will be above. So looking at this side, we can see that from here it is g of x that is on top of f of x, and that's what we want. We want where f of x is below. So f of x is below from 3 going to the left until we get to x equal to negative 1. That's where f of x goes on top and g of x goes below. So the values of x that we want is from negative 1 to 3. That's where f of x is below g of x. So we write that as an interval. We are saying x is greater than negative 1 but less than 3 to answer this question. Alright? 5.7, which is the last question to collect the 21 marks. You are given the line y is equal to x minus 1. And they are saying it cuts f at p. It cuts f at p, which is 1, 0. It cuts f at p, which is 1, 0. And q. Write down the coordinates of q. Now, out of interest, if we take the line y is equal to x minus 1, we already have the point where it cuts the x-axis. We can as well find the y-intercept, that is when x is 0, we'll get negative 1, y will be negative 1, which means this graph it cuts the y-axis and this point. And out of interest, just drawing we notice that this line passes through the point of intersection of the asymptotes. So it's probable that this is a line of symmetry with positive gradient. You may as well go on to check if it is really true. Remember, the line of symmetry with positive gradient is y is equal to x plus p plus q. So that will be x minus 3 plus 2, which is x minus 1. Exactly, it is a line of symmetry. So this is point P, and we are going to have point Q there. Now, how do we find the coordinates of Q? There are several methods that can be employed to find the coordinates of Q. Graphically, we can find the coordinates of Q in this way, because we know that from this point to this point, it is the same distance from this point to this point. So we can take in transformation ways how many units are we moving horizontally and how many units are we moving vertically. So we realize that from 1 to 3 we move 2 units. And then vertically, we are moving the y coordinate here is 0. That means we are moving from 0 to this point, that is vertically we are moving 2 units. So to get to Q, we are going to move the same number of units horizontally and vertically. So here, remember, the coordinates are 3, 2. So we are going to move 2 units to get right below Q. 2 units. So 2 units we are moving from 3, that means we get to 5. And then vertically, remember we are already at 2, we move again 2 units. That means from 2, if you move 2 units up, we get to 4. So basically we are saying the coordinates of Q are 5, 4. We can also use the midpoint formula in analytical geometry. We can employ that here. We already know the coordinates of P, 1, 0. The coordinates of Q, we don't know them. We can use x, y. But we know the midpoint of PQ, that is 3, 2. So we can say x at P plus x at Q divided by 2 should give us 3. So we multiply both sides by 2. So we are saying x1 plus x will give us 6. Therefore, x will be equal to 5. And then we employ the same idea. Y at P, that is 0 plus y at Q divided by 2 we should get the y coordinate, that is 2. Multiplying by 2 both sides, we simply get y is equal to 4. So this can be applied if we are having a line of symmetry. I hope you understand how examiners even test you on the line of symmetry. So this is the first question. I hope, especially 5.6 and 5.7, these are the questions which poses a great challenge to most of the grade 11 learners. I hope I have said a mouthful. Let's meet when we do another